Nobody knows how to make great seafood than the Venetians. This dish I'm going to be making today, Venetian scallops and shrimp, is going to be so unique. And one of the reasons why is that Venice used to be a port of trade. And in that port of trade, there were wonderful spices that came through. You're going to see these later on as I'm cooking the dish. This is not going to be your typical sauteed seafood with a white wine sauce. I think you're going to really love it. And you'll find the full recipe on Facebook at My Italian Kitchen by Chef Diane Mantica. Have a great day and ciao. Finely mince a large sweet onion. I'm mincing a few garlic cloves. You'll want to zest 1 lemon. Just go as far as the yellow and then stop when you see the white pith. Sea scallops can have a little bit of a muscle attachment on them. It's really good to peel them off. I'm using peeled and deveined shrimp. They're way easier, and these are also wild shrimp. Get a saute pan really hot and add about 2 or 3 tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. Saute your onions until they're really soft and caramelized. I also always add a little bit of salt on them. This sweats the onions and really brings out the flavor. Your onions should really be soft and limp, and they can be a little bit golden. Then we're going to add the garlic. Finally, mince some fresh basil. This is going to add a great flavor to your dish in the end. Once I throw the garlic in, I'm really only cooking it for about 1 minute, just to get the edge off and to get it a little bit sweetened. Using a dry white wine is almost always the way to go in cooking, and also a dry red wine. It really depends on what you're making. This is a pinot grigio, and it's my preferred white wine for cooking other than a sauvignon blanc. You don't have to spend a lot of money on the wine, but make sure it's very drinkable. I'm adding 1 cup of the white wine to the pan, and we want to reduce this a little bit. It really needs to mellow out, so give it a few minutes or reduce it by at least half. You can use vegetarian stock or fish stock or even chicken stock for this. Now I'm going to add 2 cups of crushed tomatoes. I always make sure that my tomatoes are a really high quality so that they have a really beautiful, ripe flavor to them. Let me show you now how to prepare saffron. Saffron can really travel far. In other words, it's pretty powerful and you don't need a lot of it. So I always saturate it with some really hot water first to make sure that it softens the threads. This recipe calls for about 1/2 teaspoon. So you can see right now in here, there's probably a full teaspoon. This is what I was talking about earlier about the Venetians using saffron. I have a little bit more than 1/2 teaspoon in here, but I'm going to take it and throw it in a bowl. And I've got my water kettle going, and I'm going to pour hot boiling water over this, and it's just going to transform this, turn the water yellow, which we're going to use, and also the threads will be really softened. You only need to throw about a tablespoon or 2 into this bowl, and that's going to be just enough. Saffron's probably one of the most expensive spices in the world, but like I said, you can buy really small amounts of it and just use it sparingly. You can see how the water is turning yellow already. I usually let my saffron soak for anywhere between 10 to 15 minutes. We're going to use all of this in our Venetian and shrimp sauce. Here it is after sitting for about 10 or 15 minutes. Make sure you use every drop of it. This is so valuable and the flavor is just awesome. So let's put our sauce aside right now, and it's time to saute the scallops. Use a non-stick pan if you can, and add a couple of tablespoons of olive oil to the pan and turn it to about a medium to a medium high. By the way, I cut my scallops in half horizontally, and that way I'll get more out of them. So just get a little bit of brown on them. I'm just browning one side, And that's really going to give it a little bit of great flavor. Also, you can see that I'm adding my crushed red pepper flakes to my sauce. Now I'm just going to toss the scallops right into the sauce, and then I'm going to add the raw shrimp right in. I'm going to poach them, and this will give a little bit more flavor to the sauce. So now it's time to finish off the sauce with the lemon zest and the fresh basil. Now it's time to add your butter right at the end. You'll notice that I'm shutting off the heat. I don't want the butter to split. I want to keep it really creamy. You really want to taste your food right at the end of cooking. It may need a little bit of salt and pepper or a little bit of adjusting with flavors. Now it's time to serve, and you can just have this as a stew with a nice piece of Italian bread, or this could be also put over some cooked pasta. I hope you enjoyed today's cooking lesson. I hope you get to make this beautiful Venetian seafood dish as soon as possible. It's really wonderful. Have a great day and happy cooking.